inner peace, better health, where today's episode reaches beyond time itself. I am your host, Shreya. Our guest, Andrew Wilson, is a trauma informed fear coach and quantum healing hypnosis technique practitioner who guides people from fear to deep freedom. From childhood trauma to soul reclamation, Andrew's journey reveals how our past lives, yes, even those long before this one, can hold the key to our deepest healing. Let's dive into the timeless truth that the healing we seek might already be written in the stories our soul remembers. Welcome, Andrew. I'm honored to have you on my show.
Thank you for having me, Shreya.
So, Andrew, many listeners might be new to the concept of past lives. How did you first discover that your own healing was connected to lifetimes beyond this one?
I took a quantum healing session with a practitioner, and during that session, I realized that I was a part of World War II. I was a German soldier, and I had done some very cruel and awful things to people. And because I'd done that in this life, I chose to experience my trauma and to go through all the motions and emotions of trauma, like depression, sadness. And I chose to be bullied. I chose to have every door and opportunity closed in front of me because of the things I had done in the past life.
Okay, so that's wonderful, and that kind of moment really changes how we relate to our present struggles. And was there a specific memory or experience in quantum healing that completely reframed your understanding of your current life struggles?
Oh yes, like with quantum healing, we can go back into the moment and we can actually reverse what happened to us and to take it away and to have it as a loving moment. So when we feel it, when we see it, we express it in a positive, loving way instead of a traumatic and scary, saddening way. But to do that, you have to go back to the same memory and you have to like reverse it. It's called the reverse exercise, which I learned from a coach. And it's also taught, like Neville Goddard speaks about it in his book, The Power of Awareness, and just understanding that you can change the course of your past, but really our past doesn't exist. It's only our present that exists. So
Yes,
it's
yes, that's
interesting when
so
you
true.
actually.
That's so true, and thank you for that insight also. And how do you help clients distinguish between present life trauma and past life imprints?
That's entirely up to the subconscious mind. So what I do in this session is I'll do a 2-hour interview, get to know the client, and then I'll put them into hypnosis. But that's up to the subconscious. The subconscious will only show you what you're meant to see or what you're ready to see. And sometimes it won't show you anything because you're blocked internally and mentally. And until you release those blocks, you cannot get to a past life or a present life.
Yeah, that's something so delicate about untangling the what the body remembers also. That's so wonderful. And also, can one be masking the other? And if so, how do we gently reveal that what the soul is really trying to say?
It's about listening to your heart and becoming more aware. Like I found with journaling, I became more aware. I would just close my eyes and I would let my thoughts go unconsciously and see what my unconscious thoughts would tell me. And I got really good at listening. It's just we don't know how to listen because there's so much noise and we never get a moment's peace. So the best thing that I've learned through is meditation. Meditation, you get a lot of answers, or journaling.
Yes. And I think we just hustle a lot of time, but sometimes we really need to stop and listen to ourselves, our heart. That really helps us from get through the struggle that we are doing, and that's so true. And you also talk about fear being a doorway, not a dead end. So, how does past life regression help someone face fear with more clarity and courage?
Well, for one, when we do the sessions, a lot of people when they do their past life, they'll have to go through a death scene. So when you see yourself, you see your soul as having a death scene, it takes the fear and trauma away from death, for one. And two, it makes you like understand that this life is based on what happened to you in the past life. And it's interesting because your family members could have been a part of your past life. Same with your relationships. It's all connected energetically. And where the neat part about it is like we've seen historical events and we haven't realized it until we do a quantum healing session. And that's the beautiful
Yes,
thing that I've understood about it. Yeah. So it kind of takes away like fear because fear is an illusion. An illusion, it's false evidence appearing real. So we put it into perspective because we were taught that fear is real. But the fear is within us. And once we let go of the fear within us, then we're the hero in our own story instead of the victim.
yes, that's such a reframe, and fear is the block. Uh, I mean, sometimes it isn't the block, but it's the doorway also. But when you do that to the clients, what's the very common reaction you see, like when they face the death sin of their past life?
A lot of people go through a traumatic experience and some people go through a positive experience. It just depends on the life you chose. So some can have a very horrific death and that death could come to this life from all that trauma, the generational trauma that we hear about. It's not generational trauma, it's our trauma from generations. So with the traumatic events that happened to us in our past, they follow us to the present.
That's a very nice and very reframing insight also. So, is there a shift in identity that happens when people realize they're more than just this one lifetime?
Absolutely. I mean, I shifted completely when I learned about my past life, and I shifted to the point where I changed the version of myself that I was meant to be. And I embrace my trauma now because I wouldn't have wrote my book. I never would have started my podcast. I never would have started a practice or coaching. So I welcome and I'm grateful for my trauma because it's made me who I am today.
Sometimes the trauma isn't the block or the bad thing that we think. It can be a new doorway for us. That's wonderful. And also, what role does forgiveness play in healing past life wounds?
Oh, forgiveness plays a huge role because not only do you have to forgive the person around you, you have to forgive their energy, you have to forgive yourself. And you don't have to forget what happened to you, but you can forgive and move on. But a lot of us still hold something within us. So when someone comes at us in a way that we don't like it, it's because there's still something toxic inside of us. And until we release that burden, we're going to continue to repeat that same behavior. Excuse me. And we may not mean to, but it's just because there's something still within we haven't done. Like I am constantly doing shadow work because our shadow is basically our ego, and our ego is always trying to protect us. But you also have to show the shadow that you respect it and love it too, because of what it's done for you. So there's a lot of work that you have to do day in, day out. Like you never stop working. You're always doing the work within yourself because the more work you do within, the more you can heal people because people see how well you feel, how positive you are, how much love you give, how forgiving you are. And they want to know why. Well, it's because you have to heal yourself from within. And until you do that, you're going to keep repeating the same pattern.
There's so something sacred in realizing that one small act of forgiveness now can release the generational unspoken pain. That's so nice. And have you seen people heal regenerational or karmic cycles simply by recognizing what they were unconsciously carrying?
Absolutely. Like I've had miraculous results. One of my clients, she came to see me. She was dealing with stage 4 cancer and she did all the work she herself. And in 4 months, she completely got rid of the cancer. And I haven't heard about anything else coming back or anything. So I say she's still in the good spirits and she's continuing her healing. When we continue our healing, we take all the junk that we've pushed down for so many years. This is why cancer exists. This is why illnesses happen. It's not because of the virus, it's because of the negative energy inside of us. And that feeds the disease, that feeds the illness. People can cure themselves of anything if they truly believe it. It's almost like imagination, but it's not. It's you telling your brain that you're healed, you're well, you're healthy, whole, and you keep repeating that. You remind the subconscious that you are that way, and it keeps your immune system strong. It keeps your body strong. It keeps your bones strong. Your body is a living organism. Your cells are alive. Everything is alive because everything is energy. Money is energy. The dirt we walk on is energy. It's all got spirit, but we don't know because we're not aware of it.
And just tell about the negative energy and how it affects our health issues. So, rather than just forgiveness, is there any other way we can cope up with this negative energies within ourselves?
Absolutely. Talk to your body. I respect my body. When my body says, gives me a stomach ache, obviously that food's not meant for my body. So I listen to my body, but we don't listen to our body. We automatically reach for the Tums. We reach for the anti-acid, or if our body's sick, well, guess what? Your body's sick because you need to slow down. You're burning out. That's why you're sick. It has nothing to do with what the person beside you has. I've been around people tons of times when they've been sick and I've never gotten sick. But the second I burnt out, that's when I got sick. And that's when your body will remind you to slow down. It's just like an injury. If you're constantly working and you're not doing the mental work, your body will break your legs. It'll break your arm. It'll make you have accidents. There is no such thing as accidents. It's your body doing it. You may think that it happens on accidentally. No, it's you being stubborn, not listening, not doing your work, not healing, not listening. So your body will be like, okay, time to go down. And then it'll drop you right to your knees.
That's so wonderful that we often blame others and other situations and all these things because of our health. But sometimes it's just us who is the reason of our health issues, and we have to deal with that. That's so wonderful to know about that also. And you create soul-led spaces for healing. What does that space look like and feel like for someone who never experienced it?
It's a calm, peaceful environment. Like I want someone to feel like they're at home, like we're two friends talking amongst each other. It's like what I do in my podcast. I create a safe space so people can share their journey and talk about their story. And there's no judgment. There's no need for judgment, really. If I'm going to judge someone, I have to judge myself first. And if I'm judging myself, then there's something I'm still not doing within. So you've got to be aware. It's all about being mindful. And when you're mindful and aware, plus I'm an empath, so I can feel people's energies and I know where they're off. So I feel the energy. I feel people the way they are inside a room. And I just kind of give them space and let them come to me whenever they're ready. I don't force nothing. I don't pressure anybody to do anything don't want to, because we have free will. Whether or not people believe it, you have the free will to say or do whatever you want. We may not agree with it, but that's your right. That's your privilege. And don't forget that. But we have forgotten that. We choose to forget that. We choose to follow someone else's idea instead of our own. We choose to follow someone else's identity instead of our own. When you become whole and forgive every part of you and love every part of you, you can love anyone. And this person could be doing terrible things, but you still love them because you realize they are dealing with their trauma. They haven't let go of their trauma. They haven't done the work. And that's brought a lot of clarity to my mind about people and how when people are even angry, I'll still smile at them.
That kind is of stillness is very rare and so healing also. It's not always about fixing something, but it's about remembering also, I think. And how can someone begin cultivating that inner sacred space even before working with a practitioner?
Do the meditation, start to journal, ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? What is this emotion surfacing from? And how can I overcome it? You ask those three questions over and over again, and then you start to program your mind. So the second you're feeling like you're going to get mad, pause and be like, okay, why? Why am I feeling this way? What is this surfacing from? And how can I overcome it? You start to become aware. So instead of reacting, you stop, pause, take a breath. Or you go outside for some air, or you hug a tree, whatever's in your area that is self-care. Self-care is something I preach about too, because we don't do self-care. We do social media, we do all the other stuff, the junk, but we don't really do the right things like go out in nature or do some yoga or play a sport you enjoy or whatever hobby you enjoy. That should be your self-care, but we don't do that. So awareness is a big thing. When you become aware of how your emotions are feeling, ask yourself the question, why am I feeling this way? Start to do shadow work. Get your trauma out. Not fix, but rebuild whatever you've destroyed. Because I destroyed my body because I didn't listen to it for years. And it's finally working at the capacity it's supposed to be working because I listened to my body. I am one with my body. And I'm aware of it now. But that's the biggest thing I suggest for people is become aware.
Yes, that's a very nice information, and thank you for sharing that also. And from there, I just have a question or a curiosity. You can just say that how can someone know that their body is telling something else, but they're not listening to their body? They are just being stubborn. So, what are the signs that body gives us to just take back to ourselves to the body?
The body will give you either discomfort. So here's the neat thing. So when you're having discomfort in the right side of your body, that's your present. When you're having discomfort in the left side of your body, that's your past. So if your left side is bothering you, there's something from your past you haven't dealt with yet. And if you're going in the wrong path, your feet will start to hurt. Your ankles will start to hurt. It's pretty neat. There's actually a book that I recommend everybody check out. It's called Soul Speak, and it's the language of the body. And it's written by one of my mentors. And it's gives you like basically a legend of what the body does in certain situations. You can also tell your body and talk to it and say, listen, body, I know we're having a tough day. Can you give me a sign of why you're doing it? And most of the times the universe will give you a sign. And other times, maybe it won't. But when you talk to your body and you tell your body you love it, it listens. So keep reminding it you love it and keep giving it good food, keep nourishing it, stretch, make sure to stretch. Your body loves it when you stretch it. Just be mindful of when your body starts to act up. And instead of grabbing the first self-medicate you can find, listen and feel.
That's amazing information. And if my listener, I mean, for my listeners, if you have to give a message or to say something to them, what would you say now?
I say you're their biggest competitor. And when it comes to like understanding others, figure out yourself first. I know you want to compete and that's fine, but figure yourself out. That way you're not in a state of lack and you're in abundance. Because when we compete, we are in a state of lack. So therefore, we're not showering ourselves with abundance. We're not transitioning the right proper way. We always think we're at a state of lack. Therefore, we think that we have to cut through people. We have to sabotage people, which we don't. So my biggest thing would be just be mindful of how you're feeling when it comes to work, when it comes to sports, anything. Think about if that person was you, what would you do?
That's so nice, and thank you for sharing your plethora of knowledge. And if my listeners want to connect with you, then what's the best way?
You can connect with me on my podcast, Beyond Transcendence with Andrew. You can reach me at my email, btwa2024@gmail.com. I also released a book called The Enemy Within, Fear is Our Greatest Opponent. It's selling now on Amazon. But if anyone wants to reach out to me on email, I'm always welcome for new chats, new people. I love making new relationships, building a new community of like-minded individuals that they want to do something for themselves and then do something for others after that.
Yes, yes. And I will make sure to attach all the details and links below so that our listeners can find them easily. And with that, we have come to the end. So, listeners, Andrew Wilson shows us that healing isn't bound by the clock. It's a timeless remembering of who we have always been. So, if you have been feeling stuck in a pattern or pulled by something you can't quite explain, maybe it's not just your past. Maybe it's your soul reaching through lifetimes, asking you to rise. So stay curious, stay open, and let your inner peace become the medicine of generations past, present, and future.